Hey everyone, Quentin Hope here. I hope everyone has been extremely well. I thought I would take a couple of moments today to go through a little bit of the gear that I use. I get asked a lot of questions about what amps I use, what pedals I use, the guitars, picks, strings, cables, signal chain, all those great questions. So I thought I would take just a moment today to start by introducing the family of the guitars to you guys. A lot of you guys already know the history of some of my guitars, my main ones especially, but I thought I'd just take you through them. There's a few that are kind of cool. So without further ado, let's get started. So this guy right here, this is my number one, my prized and cherished possession, Opie. Opie is a Fender Strat. It is a master built by John English. It was one of the last ones that he made, from what I'm told, before he passed away. This is an amazing, amazing guitar. I remember when I got it, I opened up the case and I played that low E, and that's all I needed to hear. Just the way the guitar resonates by itself is amazing. This thing is priceless, He did an amazing job. You can see some of that bird's eye maple on there. Heavy bird's eye. And when I got this, it was not relic. This was not a relic job. Not like this. This is all me. That's all Q. That's all Q right there. Q stressed, whatever you want to call it, distressed. Vintage Q, whatever. It's my DNA all over that thing. That sounds weird. But this thing has been around with me for a very long time. At one point, it was the only electric that I had. And we have been on many recordings, sessions, gigs, traveled. This amazing guitar. This is my one right here. And yeah, Opie right there. Moving right along, this is another, take them over here. I'm using this Belkin thing, by the way. If you're wondering, why is this doing this? It's a Belkin thing. I thought it'd be kind of cool to try it out, but it follows me one way, but maybe not the other way, so I got to get used to it. So back to the guitars. This is another Fender Strat. This is a master built as well. This one was made by Jason Smith, and he was an apprentice to John English for many years at Fender. He's now one of their top master builders as well. But I commissioned him to make this one for me. I used to have a 59 Strat, and I wanted a guitar that was the same specs as Opie, felt just like Opie, but a sunburst like the 59 that I used to have. I sold that 59 years ago. And I had this one made, and this one is called the Dalton. Quick story, real fast. When I had this guitar made, oh, by the way, look at that. Look at that flame maple in there. See that? And this one is not relic. You can see it's just that good old sunburst. But when I had this one made, I had started this different transition of life. It was a different phase many of us go through. And the guitar came in, and at that point I couldn't get it. I couldn't pay for it at that point because I was going through all this different stuff, a different phase in life. Most of you know that. So it wasn't drugs. No, it wasn't that. It was other things. But I couldn't get it at that moment. And the guys that had it moved it to another dealer out of town, another guitar dealer. And so it went away. And I'm thinking, well, that's it. I lost it, whatever, And it's very specific, it has very specific appointments and details. Well, a friend of mine, David Rippey, had found it online at a guitar store in Austin. He said, hey man, I think this is your guitar. All right, cool. So I got online, checked it out, and sure enough, this is it. It's there. And I told another friend of mine about it, and I still didn't have the money to get it, but I was determined I was going to go put it in layaway, and this was going to come home. The night before I went to go to Austin to get this. I went to their website and it was off the website. It was gone. I said, "You got to be kidding me! It's the second time I lost this guitar. Oh man, come on now." But a very dear friend of mine who knows my story and kind of some of the things that I went through with everything had gone to Austin and made sure that this wound up with me. And so if you know Dalton, and you know the man he is, and so this is called the Dalton right here. This little, what am I, like, Home Improvement, right? Wilson, the guy who crossed the fence. So this is again, this is another priceless one. Cherish so much. I love this guitar so much. This one has 13s on it, and I tune it down a half step. So this is my E flat guitar, which it sounds like a roaring monster. I also put the Joe Bonamassa, the Bonnie pickups in here. I had those put in, and those pickups for this guitar sound amazing. On Opie, those are Jason Lawler pickups, specials in there, and that works perfect for Opie. I had to think about so many Jasons popping around my head, right? Jason Smith, Lawler, and those pickups are great in that guitar. So anyway, the Dalton, the Opie, the Dalton. Right. This one here, this one is, hey, I'm over here again. This one is a Wildwood special. If you guys know Wildwood guitars in Colorado, this is one of their Wildwood 10s. This one is called Otis. I was trying to think of a name for this one. I said, well, I've got Opie and Otis. It just sounds kind of good, right? I saw Greg Koch playing a demonstration video on the Wildwood's website. That's hard to say, Wildwood's website. Hey! It was him playing this guitar. Of course, he's going to play, a guitar from Walmart that's, been sitting in the $2 bin for 6 months, and it's going to sound amazing because that's the good player he is. But I said, man, that's a really cool guitar. You might not be able to see too much, but it's black over red sparkle. And I thought, that's all the pizzazz I need right there. I don't need much more sparkle in my life than that. That's all the sparkle I need. So give me a little sparkle, and that's good right there. But yeah, another amazing guitar. I don't buy guitars that I don't play first, usually. So this was kind of a chance, but I just, just by Greg's description and what he was getting out of it, I just had a feeling that this would be a player in the game for me, and it is. It's another amazing guitar. This one's a lot darker than the other ones. So if I want this kind of bigger, darker tone, I use this guitar. They all have their own brand, their own sound, of course, right? Their own personalities, and we'll make videos about that later on. But this is Otis, Opie the Dalton Otis. All right, moving along. I don't know if you can see him down here, but my buddy Trucks is down here. My good cat, he's hanging out with the guitars. Hey, we're back over here again. Hi, how you doing? Come back over. Hey, you guys come over this way. This thing's crazy. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm not gonna edit this. This is going out. This is one of those good old Eric Johnson Strats. Everyone knows I'm an Eric Johnson fan. I'm not trying to hide that in any manner at all from my amps and tones and the way I had set things up. How could you not be an Eric Johnson fan? He's the king of tone, right? And a long time ago, when he first came out with his signature series, I had all of them. I had the red one, I had the sunburst, the black, and the white one. So I had all four. And again, sold all those a long time ago, and then even the white one. So I bought this one a few years ago. And yeah, this one is called Sugar, and it's just a straight up stock Eric Johnson signature model right there. You got the little guy on the back, right? So that's Sugar right there. come back over this way. And this is the one I was talking about at the beginning that I did a video for. You can find it on YouTube. This one is a Jimmy Wallace Strat, Jimmy Wallace guitars. And this one is called, obviously, the Jimmy, right? Sounds like a sandwich, doesn't it? I'll have the Jimmy, you know. But a very, very cool guitar. This is the only one that I have that has a humbucker in it. All of my other Strats are 3 single coils. This one has a humbucker in it. Jimmy Wallace pickups. Also, only one that I really use the tremolo bar with, right? None of my Strats have the back plates. I don't like them. I take them off. And Opie and the Dalton, they don't even have back plates at all. They weren't even drilled out for them. And this is a very cool guitar. I was over at Jimmy's shop one day a year or so ago and just checking things out. And we were talking about, you know, having one built. And I was thinking about doing like a blue one, like a baby blue, which I think is very cool. And that's still what I want. But I started playing this one. He says, man, do you like that one? I said, yeah, this one's kind of vibing with me. And lo and behold, it came home with me that day. So I didn't expect to come home with the guitar that day, but I did, yeah. And man, I've used this one in sessions, and it's so cool. This front neck pickup has a very unique voice to it, and the humbucker is very cool, because like I said, this is the only one I have that has a humbucker in it so far. And it's very cool to have that color in this too. So that's the Jimmy. And now, this guy here, this is my good old Telecaster. This is called the Crow. So this is another Fender custom shop. And it's very cool. It's like, man, this thing is, you know, I heard a lot of stories about, you know, Jimmy Page used the Telecaster for a lot of his recordings that you would think is a Les Paul or something like that. And I was like, wow, okay, that's kind of cool. And when I got this guitar, I used it on a couple of sessions for some rock and roll stuff. And it sounded pretty dang good, I tell you. So there's this thing can sound like a huge animal coming at you, just barreling down on you. And it can also get that nice country twang to it, that good old Texas twang. But I walked into Guitar Center one day, and my friend there, Robbie Goosen, many of you know him, said, man, you've got to check this Telly out, as he does with everything, right? Robbie is the gear pusher. We all know that. Love you, Robbie. You got to check this out, man. It's the best. But he wasn't lying. And again, it's got some really nice flame up there that you can see. But back then, for some reason, I wasn't really keen on matching headstocks. I don't know why. It was just like, you know, I wanted a natural headstock. Got a little stuff up there. But I love this. I love this now. I love the matching headstock thing. It's really cool. So, but that's this guy here. You know, we'll take a little tour of that. And this one was relic when I got it. So, you know, there's not a lot of that. That's me. You know, if the FBI needs my DNA, come get Opie. That's got DNA out the wazoo, right? You know, it still sounds weird, but yeah, it does. So, all right. And then, come on over this way. Come on over. No, really, come on. Yeah, you two trucks. You can come over. You hear my cat? You hear trucks? That's my good buddy. And this is Butternut. So this is my good old. This is the Les Paul special that I have, and this is another one that I got from Wildwood Guitars. A very close friend of mine, Steve Mueller, has one like this. He had I think he still has it. He had a white one, and I was over to this place one day and I played it, and it's like, oh wow, that sound is amazing. I need that in my life. And of course, again, I started looking around. It's like, oh man, they're up there in price with everything. And so I was gonna wait a while. And of course, just like anything else, you know, a deal always comes along, and when you look for it. And this was at Wildwood Guitars, and it was on their website. A guy had bought it, never played it, and traded it back in for something else. I forgot what he traded it for. But I mean, it still had the plastic on the pick guard. I mean, it wasn't even played at all. And I got it for a very, very good deal, like a fraction of what retail is, you know, for these guys. So, score. And this is butternut. A good old color there. Butternut squash, right? Kind of, I guess, maybe. I don't know. It just fits. Kind of a South Park thing, maybe. I don't know. I'm weird like that. So now, let's dig into the acoustics, shall we? Hey, trucks. I'm going to take you over here real quick. Let's just go over here. I'm going to pick you up, and we're going to go over this way. So, this right here, behind me, that's my dad's 1977 Martin. My mom bought that for him on their 7th anniversary, I believe. And so that's very special. I played the heck out of that thing. So that one stays in the case. And hey, I'm back over here. No, really, I'm over here. Hi, how you doing? Come on over. Belkin, you're so weird. But I just kind of leave that in the case. I did play it. I put a lot of miles in that thing. That was the only acoustic I had for a long time too. And then when Chaz and I got together and started doing all these acoustic shows and duos, and man, I mean, I wore the thing out. So that's called Marty. Real original, I know. You know, it just took me a long time to come up with that. It's probably one of 172,698 Martins in the world that are named Marty. So that's Marty. That's my dad's 1977 D28, which again, priceless, and I cherish it, of course. Which takes us over to the acoustics here. So this guy, I've always been a Collings fan. I had one that I bought late 90s. It was an OM2H. I bought it from Charlie's Guitar Shop. An amazing OM. And like some of the other gear, you know, I had to sell it, you know, back in the day. But I swore I was going to get another one, and I did. So this is my Collings OM2H. That Adirondack spruce top, torrefied, it's baked in. Yeah, and this is broken in real well. And would you believe this one is called the Chaz? I had to name this one after Chaz. So it was very special for me to get another Collings after that one that I had. And get this guy, and I love it, you know. Not as much as I love her, of course, but I do love it. It's amazing, amazing OM, man. It's just... So it's a very deep sounding OM. It's very loud. And LR bags, I had a LR bags pickup put in this guy. And then, right after I got that one, since I retired my dad's Martin, the D2, Marty back there, retired Marty. Marty retired, and Marty retired in 2020 because I got this. This is my Collings D2H, yeah, A. So it's an Adirondack spruce top again. It's torrefied, baked in, and the sunburst finish, of course, you know. And I love this guy there. And since that one was named Marty and that was my dad's, this is the D2 that replaced that. So my dad's name, Elwin, or Joe. So this is called Elwin. This is the Elwin right here. Named after Pop. And what's funny is, when Collings made this for me, they actually, when they bake these tops in, sometimes there can be, I guess, stripes or little inconsistencies in the grain that show up when they try to stain them. So as I ordered it as a natural finish, I didn't order it naturally as a sunburst. And I said, well, we're gonna go ahead and send it as a sunburst and see if you like it. You know, if you like it, cool. If not, we're still making the natural finish. And of course, you know, who's gonna say no to that? You know, who's gonna say no to that gorgeous sunburst right there? Who's gonna say no to that? I mean, yeah, it didn't take much to make up my mind that, yeah, this is very, very cool. Now, since that was, you know, that, and that is Elwin, Dad, and it's a sunburst, it's only right that Mom's around, right? So I had them make me a D2HA. This one is a D2H. Again, Adirondack spruce top, baked in. They all are. All three Collings are. And same appointments as Elwin there, as the sunburst. And so my mom's nickname that they gave her as a kid was Puddin'. I don't remember why or know why. So this is Puddin'. So that, and this one is the latest one to the family. And it's a freaking cannon. They all are. They're all amazing. They're like little pianos with necks, you know. So that's kind of the intro to the guitars, you know. I also have a little my buddy Mike Gruich. This is his. This is the Dobro, but he didn't have any room at his place. He said, "Man, I'm not playing it. Just, you know, take it." So I don't think he ever named it, and it's still his. I'm just kind of holding on to it indefinitely. So, you know, this is hanging around the house, and so this is Mikey for Mike Gruich. This is Mikey. So he just kind of hangs around. So if you need that dobro sound, Mikey's hanging around. Well, that's the song right there. And then I've got my good old, this is just some Mexican made Fender bass here. And good old jazz bass. I just like that color. It's beautiful. But, you know, everyone needs a bass in the studio, you know, laying around. And I haven't really named this guy yet. I don't have a name for it. So if you have a unique name that I should call it, you know, I don't, you know, calling it Blue, I don't know if that's, you know, hey, you're my boy, Blue. You know, I don't know. But it's a good bass. You know, I've done some session work with it, and I've actually played it live for some things, and it's really cool. I dig it. I like it a lot. Anyway, that took a little longer than I thought it was going to, so I hope you didn't get too bored. And of course, all the amps I use are Mesa Boogie. I've got Fillmore's, I've got Lone Stars, TC100. I'll go through all those. I've done amp demos for those before, the Fillmore series, and then I did that whole thing a long time ago where I did the thing with the Lone Star and the Stiletto, and we all saw that. So there'll be some more of that stuff later on. Pedals, I've got a lot of those, but I don't use a lot of pedals really. I use Universal Audio delays. The Starlight that came out is amazing. It's one of the best delays out there. And cables, I use Rattlesnake cables. Hank and the guys at Rattlesnake are awesome. I love those cables. They are built for life. They're very cool. They sound great. I can't say anything bad about those guys. I can't say enough good things. They're all great. They're great guys. Picks kind of vary depending on what I'm doing. Mostly little jazz size picks. The guys at Stringjoy, they make some cool picks. You know, I use these mostly on acoustic. And then of course strings, I use Stringjoy for some things. If you guys haven't heard about the Stringjoy, I use those guys. But my primary string is GHS. That's what I use. Opie has 10.5s. All of them have 10.5s except for the Dalton. The Dalton has 13s on it. So And the acoustics, I use light gauge on those, except for Elwin. I put medium gauge on Elwin because he's tuned down a half step, and I like to have that tension on there. So I hope that gives you a little bit of the insight to what I use, and I will do in-depth videos for these guys, like individual guitars. If you look up my name on YouTube, Quentin Hope, and you'll see I did a video about the Jimmy and kind of more story behind that. So I'm going to go through each of those guys back there, and you'll kind of find out more of the story about those. So I hope everyone has a great rest of the week, great night, whatever it is, great day wherever you're at, and take care. And until the next time, go tone chasing.